Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. This is all about wine education, really helping you to get more from enjoyment of wine. Now, this is a presentation here looking at New Zealand. As with all my presentations, they follow key text and key syllabus of wine education. So if you are studying, you'll find this very useful. If you do have any comments or questions during this video, please do get in touch. You could do so by commenting on this video below. Make sure you click like and subscribe. We really want to see those fingers. So we are looking here at Series 3 on the South Island. And Series 3 is split into 5 parts. And we're on part 2, Marlborough, the Southern Valleys and Awatere. Now, this video is free. Part 3, 4 and 5, Nelson, Canterbury, Central Otago, are only available if you subscribe to my e-learning portal. That's over at www.winewithjimmy.com. Ad-free, lots of exclusive content, and if you are studying, lots of extra resources to help you with your studies, such as multiple choice questions, flashcards, and lots of written questions. Let's rock and roll then, talking about Marlborough. Once again, the location is in the north tip of the Southern Island, number 8 on your map there, incorporating the Marlborough Sounds down towards Blenheim, Seddon, and Renwick, really on 2 major valleys, which we discussed last time around. By far the largest of the wine regions, nearly 30,000 hectares of vines. This was 2023. So subregions again. Now, we discussed a little bit on the last video, the major parts. We went into detail about the brownish area there, which is the Wairau Valley. Today, we're actually going to look at this bluish part called the Southern Valleys subregion, and then go down to Seddon, where we find the Awatere Valley subregion. That's the focus for this section. So first of all, those southern valleys. I've included a map highlighted there in kind of like a burgundy or brown colour. So the Southern Valleys is the collective name for a number of north to south running valleys. This is located south of the main plain of the Wairau, so just south of Renwick, with vineyards planted on the surrounding hillsides. Soils here have more clay than in the rest of Marlborough. Clay is water retentive, so this retains water and it has a cooling influence. This slows ripening, and harvesting time can be up to 2 weeks later than on the plains of the Wairau. Pinot Noir therefore thrives, as it needs a long season to develop its lovely pronounced aromatics, its fine-grained tannins, and its decent flavours, and they can all ripen without risking very high sugar and hence alcohol levels. So it's really becoming a hotbed, for want of a better word, a hotbed for Pinot Noir. And then we have the Awatere. Now, this is to the south of the Wairau, over the Wither Hills, and it is on the River Awatere. Now, this area is cooler and windier due to its proximity to the coast, but also higher elevation. Harvest here is later than anywhere else in the rest of Marlborough. Sauvignon Blanc here are generally much more herbaceous and less tropical than those found in the Wairau Valley, but you still get very high levels of acid due to the colder temperatures. Now, due to the windy weather, the Pinot Noir is a little bit like Marlborough Pinot Noir that we find in the Wairarapa, down in the southern section near Wellington of the North Island. The Pinot Noir grapes here need to develop rather thick skins. So they're smaller berries with thick skins, leading to more deeply coloured wines. Rather exciting. Now, over 70% of all the plantings of Marlborough are Sauvignon Blanc. So I've now talked to you about all of the subzones key to the syllabus of the diploma for Marlborough. Now we go into the key styles. So 70% are Sauvignon Blanc. The most typical and best known style is dry, with high acidity, with intensely aromatic mixture of herbaceous, floral, and tropical fruit aromas, particularly passion fruit. Quality levels typically range from good to very good, prices inexpensive to mid price, but there are some premium. Producers may blend grapes from the different subregions or vineyard sites to get the desired characteristics. Blending may also be necessary for high volume producers to acquire the volumes of grapes necessary for their top selling sort of big production Sauvignon Blanc. Now, typically, we'll think about cold fermentation temperatures, propagated cultured yeast, no malolactic conversion, and no wood to really protect the aromatic. But there are some that are different. Producers are experimenting with ambient yeast. You'll see grey wacky wild Sauvignon here. Partial barrel fermentation, lees stirring, and that's all to create more complex, highly textured examples, which can be very good to outstanding, but often much more premium priced. And also, some producers are focusing on more site specific expressions rather than blending fruit from all over. So, really focusing on the more physical terroir of the wine. What about Pinot Noir? Now, only 10% of plantings. Pinot Noir is becoming more and more popular as the quality of fruit coming from specifically the southern valleys has been recognized. But there are three general styles across Marlborough. Wines made in a light-bodied, juicy red-fruited style, suitable for early drinking. They tend to come from the flat, alluvial plains from the Wairau Valley, and generally fall into the mid-priced sector. So full of all these strawberries, cherries, raspberries, as you'll see from your picture. The second kind of style on the clay and low slopes of the southern valleys have more intense fruit aromas and flavours, cherry plums, and often medium to full bodied with finely grained tannin. These tend to be matured in oak, can be very good to outstanding, and are premium priced. So you'll see that reflected in the slide just there. And then finally, Pinot Noir from the windier, cooler Awatere Valley tend to have thicker skins, leading to deeply coloured wines, with often a touch of floral and herbal character due to the altitude. They tend to be matured in oak and also be good to outstanding. Pinot Gris or Grigio. So we have two types of Pinot Gris Grigio. The Grigio style, which is lighter bodied and youthful and fresh, and then the fuller bodied, riper fruit and sometimes barrel matured style. So the lighter style to begin. They range from crisp, semi-aromatic styles, mid-priced, and then the simpler ones can be dry to off-dry, in stainless steel fermentations at cold temperatures with less lees contact. These tend to sort of emulate a Venetian Pinot Gris, for example. But then we have the more complex expressions. These are richer, more intense, dry to off-dry with ripe stone fruit, often orchard fruit, honeysuckle, and even spice. Barrel fermentation or partial barrel fermentation, ambient yeast, lee stirring, and oak maturation are used for these expressions. Chardonnay is being produced, and a range of expressions. They can be unoaked, made in a sort of light to medium bodied style with simple stone fruit and a citrus kick. They're usually good to very good and mid-priced. You'll see the Marlborough Oyster Bay Chardonnay just there. But also, we've got more premium expressions. Now, ignore the writing to the bottom right there. That should not be on there. These sort of premium, outstanding, complex expressions will have stone fruits, citrus fruits, and often have a reductive edge, a bit of struck match. You'll find spicy oak notes of toast, subtle dairy aromas, and malolactic conversion with yeast notes from lees stirring. Dog Point Chardonnay there is an exceptional, expressive example of the more premium side of life. Okay, so that's part 2 complete. Part 3, we'll be looking at the excellent area, but small, about 1,000 hectares, of Nelson. Now, Nelson, along with Canterbury and Central Otago, parts 4 and 5, are only available to those of you who subscribe to my e-learning platform. If you do have any questions, remember, please do get in touch. You could do so by commenting on this video below. Until next time, I've been Jimmy Smith.